Hello, everyone. How's it going? Azren, the language nerd here. I'm the owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to another video in this series here on how to learn another language. I'm excited to be here. I have a quick housekeeping item to mention before we begin today, which is that on the home page of this course, which is azrenthelanguagenerd.com/free course, I just added something which was not there before, at least as of today, as I'm recording this, which is a demo section. In fact, I can even show it to you. If I just share my screen here, let me show you what it looks like. Of course, depending on when you're watching this, I might have adjusted the layout of the website, but as of today, when I'm recording this video, this is what it looks like. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Oops, wrong button. So this is what the page looks like. I think I've never actually shared my screen and shown you what the page looks like before. So this is it right here. This is the home page. At the top is the intro. There's an option to take paid lessons with us, should you choose to. There's also a free starter kit, which can help a lot of you get some one-on-one or small group time with me. Here's where you'd purchase the workbooks. And at the bottom, that's where you find all the course content. And I just added the following, some lesson demos. So lesson demos are recordings from some of my private language classes. So this is from when I'm the student. In fact, I might even put some where I'm the tutor, because there might be some benefit from you seeing that as well. But for the time being, what I've put here are lesson recordings from when I am the student. And as I've written here, my hope is that you can become a better language learner by watching some videos of me, someone who's learned multiple languages successfully, during my lessons. And I think that some of you, depending on how you learn, will be able to take something away from watching how I learn, how I approach things. So for example, this first one here, this is where I was in a private Japanese lesson, and I'm an absolute beginner. If we look at the levels here, we've absolute beginner, upper beginner, right? I'm at this absolute beginner level for Japanese, and I'm approximately at level 1, part 2. So what you see, so here there's level 1, part 2 right here. What you see me doing in this video is basically doing a pretty good job, I would say, of following level 1, part 2. This program is designed to be personalized by everyone. And so everyone's going to approach it slightly differently. But I think I did a pretty good demonstration of what someone at level 1, part 2 might do in a class, of course, sprinkled in with my personality. It's a little bit weird, but it's still useful, I think. And I put another one here, which is a Mandarin lesson, and I'm much stronger in Mandarin. I'm closer to a level 4 or maybe 4.5 with some vocabulary gaps. There's some stuff in level 3, which is what you guys are watching now, that I've not really properly studied in Mandarin yet, and I kind of skipped it. So I've got some gaps in level 3, to be honest, but roughly speaking at a level 4-ish. So you can see what that kind of class looks like. So I've just added these lesson demos, and I might add some more over time. So I thought I would show that to you. Any other housekeeping items today? No, I don't think so. I think that's everything. So without further ado, let's continue with level 3 today. Let me reshare my screen. Boom, there we go. So last time we did this introduction. So let's scroll past the introduction and let's jump into step 1, which is daily life. So in the past, we did talk about a portion of daily life, which is your day-to-day routines, but we have not talked about your daily chores. And so that's the focus of this chapter. And chores are something that we use regularly in, well, all languages. So as always, we have our vocabulary section. Speak with your language partner or your tutor to figure out how to say these, or quite simply Google it, search it on YouTube. Those are also options on how you might learn how to say these. The vocabulary list is to clean, to cook, to wash, to iron, to buy groceries, to vacuum, to fix something, to make the bed, to water the plants, to change a light bulb, to take out the trash, to sweep, and to dust. As always, I encourage you to go above and beyond the words that are just here. This is just a starting point. Additionally, you'll remember I started you'll notice rather that I started all of these with the word to water the plants, to change a light bulb. That's because many languages have verb conjugations. Verb conjugations basically means where you have to change the spelling of a verb and the pronunciation of a verb based on when the verb happens and who is using the verb and in what context. So I would never say in English, for instance, I would never say something silly like, yesterday I changes the light bulb. Yesterday I changes the light bulb. No, that's not right. Yesterday I changed a light bulb. Yesterday I was changing a light bulb when someone called me or whatever, right? So that's an example. The verb changes versus changed versus changing. Those are all examples of how a verb might be conjugated. And many languages have this phenomenon. And so I've put these in this form with starting with to, because I encourage you in whatever language you're learning to learn it in the standard form and then try to understand some different ways of how that may transform into the past or the future or whatever it may be. I hope that makes sense. An alternate way to learn, which is also perfectly acceptable, if you watch the demo video of me learning Japanese, you'll see this kind of happens, where you memorize and internalize some phrases with these verbs: water the plants, change the light bulb, take out the trash, etc. And so you might not know the standard infinitive form, if that makes sense. The standard form, right, which is called the infinitive form. Um, uh, you may not learn that, but you might know how to use it in the past, even though you don't fully understand how it grammatically got there. That's not necessarily the end of the world. I know that as I'm thinking about what I just said, I can realize that might have come across as a little bit complicated, especially if um, you're not super well versed in language learning terminology like infinitive and things of that nature. So what I encourage you to do is, if you have any questions, if something didn't quite make sense, please email me. I'm more than happy to connect with you one-on-one or email back and forth with you a bit. I do my absolute best to get back to everyone, and I do a pretty good job as of right now. Eventually the numbers will defeat me, but as of now, I'm still able to get back to everyone for the most part, 98% of the time or whatnot. So feel free to reach out. Happy to answer any questions you have. So our writing practice is to write about a cleaning day. So you're going to write about a day in the past where you did a lot of chores. So what chores did you do? Did someone help you, or did you complete them all yourself? How did you feel while doing those chores? So, and then remember, once you've written this out, have your tutor or your language partner correct what you wrote. This is super important. Getting feedback on your writing is absolutely crucial. You can't just write it and then move on with your life. Get some feedback on your writing. Make sure it's done properly. Make sure things are worded in the right way, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's a really important piece. An exception to that rule is if you decide to go down the route of doing daily journaling, because some people do like to write on a daily basis. You might not get every single journal corrected because it just takes so long and it's so overwhelming to have everything you ever do corrected. But maybe if you're doing daily journaling, you get one of your journal entries corrected once every week or once every 2 weeks. Just do one every now and then, so it's not super overwhelming. But this activity, yes, I want you to have it corrected. And notice that this is in the past tense. So what chores did you do? That's the past. Did someone help you, or did you complete all yourself? Again, this is all past tense oriented things. This is encouraging you to practice writing about something in the past. For the speaking practice, it's kind of tied to the writing practice, to be honest. You're going to book a lesson with your tutor or language partner, and you're going to discuss the following 5 questions. You're going to ask, what chores do you have to do in your house or apartment? What are your favorite chores? Why do you like them? What are your least favorite chores? Why don't you like them? What chores have you done over the past few weeks? And this is going to be a great time to use those past tenses and practice with that. And then, of course, you'll invent at least 2 of your own questions to ask your language or exchange or your language partner or your tutor, and make this as natural of a conversation as you can make it, right? And I encourage you to use a lot of the vocabulary that you've come across during this stage of the program. Here we enter the video practice section, and I'm going to share my screen for this portion here. So you're going to look up these cleaning routine videos. Some of you might be like, what the heck are you talking about? And I'll be honest, I didn't know these existed either until I was preparing this course. And I was trying to figure out what kind of listening practice to give you. And I just kind of stumbled across these. Let me show you what this is. So I'm going to go to YouTube here. Share my screen once more. Here we go. And you literally search my cleaning routine. Oops, I spelled routine wrong. And you're going to see lots of videos of people that do clean my new home with me, my cleaning routine. Look at this, 1.6 million views on this one. So people watch these videos and people make these videos, and there's people that talk about their cleaning routines. What better way to practice your listening than to watch videos about cleaning routine when we're just talking about a whole unit on chores? Wow. And you'll find these in multiple languages. I mean, I wish I spoke more than 5 because then I could show you in multiple languages how you'll find these. But let's try in Spanish. Like, what do we say for my cleaning routines in Spanish? We'd say like, it's funny how you can speak a language forever, but like sometimes you get certain phrases and you're like, how do you say that? Mi rutina de limpieza. Yeah, there we go. Mi rutina de limpieza. Mi rutina de limpieza diaria. Nancy Loaiza, right? Look at that, 271,000 views. Mi rutina de limpieza diaria. Motívate a limpiar. Motivate yourself to clean. Mi rutina de limpieza diaria, right? There's lots of these videos, right? Let's look up something in French. I mean, just to show you that these exist in multiple languages. How do you say that in French? Ma routine. Is it routine? I don't know. So how do you say routine in French? Routine? Regime? Is routine a thing? Now I'm doubting myself. See, even me, 23 years of French, I still forget stuff. Forget stuff all the time. And the more languages you speak and the more you have to maintain, the more you forget. Let's look it up together here. English. Is it routine? I think it is. French. Yeah, it is routine. Okay, très bien. Oh, by the way, this is a great translator. I'm a big fan of this translator, deepl.com. Very accurate translation, even for phrases. So if we like search something like, for example, if you're trying to figure out how do you say my cleaning routine in French, you could literally type it in. And you'll probably get, probably you're going to get a good translation. So if we were to go cut and paste this, right, you'll probably get a good, probably will work out well for you. Right, here we go. Routine de nettoyage minimaliste, édition du soir. Ma routine ménage quotidienne du matin pour une maison toujours propre. Right? Look at these, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. Right? This is funny. What is she doing? Is she washing a horse? She is. That's amazing. Routine douche, shower routine. That's hilarious. So you'll find these for lots, right? I could show you. I mean, I'm actually curious to look at like Mandarin and such, but I won't waste your time on that. Of me scratching my own curiosity itch. So yes, look those up, right? Look up some cleaning videos and you will likely find them, assuming you're learning a widely spoken language, of course. And this course is designed primarily, I would say, for more widely spoken languages, less for like really niche or endangered languages, for instance. And of course, we have our extra notes page. Shall we do two chapters in one today? Let's do it. Let's do 2 in 1. Let's go to step 2, which is travel. So as always, we have our vocabulary section to start things off. You're going to learn some essential vocabulary that you would need to know in order to talk about traveling, right? So for example, here we have trip, ticket, suitcase, backpack, map, passport, tour guide, tourist, adventure, itinerary, hotel, hostel, resort, and maybe you went camping, so a tent. Of course, I encourage you to learn more words in this because you would need more than this to talk about your travels, especially if there's specific travel stories you want to discuss, for instance. What was I going to say about this? Yes, as always, to learn these words, you have a few options. You could simply Google or YouTube it, or to speak with your tutor or your speaking partner and ask them how you would say these kinds of words, for instance. Those are 2 very, very good options. Some of these you may already know how to say, which is great. The writing practice here is you're going to write about some previous trips, okay? You can do multiple trips. I mean, multiple is good. In fact, for all of these units, you could actually rinse and repeat these units multiple times, many of these units, not just this one. You could rinse and repeat many of these many times, and probably you should, to be honest, to really get the knowledge deep in your head. But that's an FYI that perhaps I should say more often because it is important. So you're going to write about some previous trips, and you're going to consider the following points in your text. Where did you go? When did you go? How long was the trip? Who did you go with? How was the accommodation? What did you see? What made the biggest impression on you? And of course, any other relevant details, anything else you'd like to include. And of course, have your language partner correct the text after you've written it. Correct it together, by the way. Correct it together. Don't just like email it to them. It's better to do it together. So you can use this, if you purchase the workbook, you can use this sheet, type it in, write it in, whatever you want into the sheet. And of course, you can make multiple copies of the sheet to do that journal entry should you choose to. For the speaking practice, it's pretty similar to the writing practice, to be honest. What you did in the writing practice, you're now going to do in a speaking practice. You're going to tell them about a previous trip that you've been on. Where did you go? What did you see? Who did you go with? What was the most memorable thing? And then, of course, you're going to ask your tutor or your speaking partner to tell them about a trip in the past. Tell you something that happened to them while they're abroad. Tell you some travel stories, right? So pretty logical speaking practice, I think. And this will be a great past tense practice. As for the video practice here, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be hard, I think, and you might not understand everything that's being said, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world, and it's still a beneficial thing for you to do, is to find some travel documentaries in your target language. There's one I really want to show you, which is so cool for the Spanish learners. Hard to understand, I will be honest, but again, it's okay because again, when you watch those kinds of things, remember what all you're listening for. I've said this like 52 times now throughout this course. I feel like you're just listening for those 10 to 20 timestamps where you don't fully understand what they're saying and you really want to know what they're saying. You're like, what was that word? What was that phrase? What was he saying there? And you write those timestamps down and you speak to your tutor or your language partner and you're like, hey, what's he saying here? Can you help me with this? That's the main thing you're focusing on, right? And of course, you're trying to understand what you can. Like you're trying to catch what you can, of course. So let me show you this really cool one for Spanish. And it's a YouTube channel, actually. Really, really cool. It's not exactly a travel documentary, but it's like I'm not really sure what you call it. I guess it is a documentary, I suppose. The channel's called Soy Tribu. Oops, Soy Tribu. Really, really cool one. This guy goes and explores the world on his motorbike. La Vuelta al Mundo en Moto. So super, 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 super cool. Really cool. I would highly recommend this for the Spanish learners, of course. He does have a poetic way of speaking, and he does speak kind of quickly and things of that nature. But still, really, really cool. It's a really cool series, even for the non-Spanish learners. So super fun to watch. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Let me share my screen once more. And yeah, let's wrap that video up here. We'll move into this one in next time here, personality and physical appearance. One final note before I finish today, which I think is an important one. For listening practice, one thing that I don't know if I've said it in this course before, but it is a pretty important piece. So I think listening practice can actually fork into two categories. Category one is what we've talked a lot about, and it's a lot of the listening assignments that I provide in this course itself, watching the travel documentaries, things of that nature, cleaning videos. But there is a second type of listening practice that I believe you should be doing. And the second type of listening practice is listening to things that are roughly speaking at your level and designed for your level. I haven't talked much about it because it does fall into one of the 5 major language learning activities. I believe that falls into traditional homework because when you do traditional styles of learning, you're often going to have materials that are designed for language learners, for people at your level, and you're getting that listening practice from that resource. But I think I need to come out today and say it outright that, hey, I think you should listen to stuff that's roughly speaking at your level too, to train your ears and have something that's comprehensible and that you have a real shot of kind of sort of understanding, or mostly understanding. So you're going to have to find that from textbooks or teach yourself programs, or that's not something you can get from this course that I'm making, because I'm trying to make this for a wide variety of languages. This is not a single language specific course, if you know what I mean. So you're going to have to go find that for yourself. But I do believe that's an important piece. So I'm Azren, the language nerd, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds. My team and I, we teach a wide variety of foreign languages to people of all ages and all levels of fluency. We'd love to work with you if you are looking to learn a new language. And so please reach out if you'd like to work with either myself or someone on my team. And have a great rest of the day. We'll talk soon. Bye for now. See you.